I swear it never ends. Woman shopping at Aldi for lettuce notices something strange in the packaging. And as far as stuff that you put on or in your body every single day, deodorant sold by Walmart and Amazon recalled nationwide. You won't believe what I found. A lot of people out there trying not to be, but are on medications. FDA inspectors again find dangerous breakdowns at an Indian factory supplying medications to the US consumers. And you guys need to know this glyphosate poison problem in America is so much bigger than anyone realizes. And did you guys know, not just Japan, but Japan won't even allow US cereals into their country because there's too many toxic ingredients. I've got a ton of information that affects you, probably what's in your cabinets in your fridge right now. Important information that you guys need to know coming right up. Hey guys, my name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. And if you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most important, news and awareness that affects you, be sure to start this video off with a like, hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date, and let's begin. All right guys, I've got so much to show you, so much to bring to light. It's all stuff that's been brushed under the rug for so long, and you know what? People are getting sick, people are getting cancer, some people are not even making it. Some people say it's a population thing, maybe something that's controlled. I don't know what to say about that, but I can say what's going on, and I'm going to share it with you. You know what? Before I get going, if you guys have ever wanted to know where I get my stuff, where I've gotten it the last 2 years, and I wish I would have known earlier. We shop American-made, non-toxic ingredients and support a family-owned business that doesn't put up with all this garbage. It's a shopping club much like Costco, maybe even like Amazon, but we support American workers with beliefs and interests that align with our values. Now I'm talking about 500 different consumer goods. Isn't it time that we stop funding the problem? We see Amazon, Walmart, which is all owned by the same big huge umbrella. I invite you guys to just come take a look at the store, because for thousands that we've reached out to, it's been a better fit for them and their families. American-made, non-toxic. Isn't it time for people to start voting with their dollars? Switch to a better place to shop. At least check it out. The link's at the top of the description, also in the pinned comment. Let me give you more reason to make a change out there. Shocking test results of glyphosate in breakfast cereals. Are big box brand corrupting organic? Check it out.
This is incredibly unfortunate. We were not expecting these results. We did not want to release these results. We have new test results that show that glyphosate is being present in our cereals. 90% of our cereals that moms across America tested, and 6 out of 7 of them, unfortunately, folks, were organic cereals. Now, granted, the organic cereal levels were still 11% lower than the conventional cereals, but any presence of glyphosate in organic cereals is not supposed to be happening. It is extremely disappointing. We spend extra money to have organic, which is what we are assuming and what is supposed to not have glyphosate present in it. Glyphosate is not allowed in organic crops, and the presence shows contamination. The article goes over it in many ways, how glyphosate could be contaminating these organic crops. And, that is through the manure, it's through irrigation, the rainwater, soil practices, all types of, residues left in the soil. So we are extremely dismayed by the presence of glyphosate in these organic cereals. And unfortunately, the Kashi Cocoa Clusters Organic and the Cascadia Farm Honey Nut cereals were the highest levels. So the organic cereals had the 2 highest levels of glyphosate in them.
You heard that, right? The organic stuff had the worst test results. Way to go, organic cereal in America. Now trust me, I've got a lot more to show you, but let me expand on this so you guys really get a good idea. Watch this.
The current statistics is that less than 1/10 of 1% of the Roundup used on the planet actually hits a weed. The other 99.99% gets into the soil and into the water system and washes off. And so we are now seeing the runoff from these farms and in the water table itself. So we have fossil aquifers in the United States here that run from Canada all the way down to historically Mexico that is now dried up. We've turned over 1,000 square miles of Texas into desert over just the last 20 years from sucking water out of the ground. Mm-hmm. That fossil aquifer is now contaminated with Roundup that's filtered down into this ancient freshwater source for us. And then in the same moment, you've got the Mississippi River, which collects over 80% of all the Roundup in the country, and then it's evaporating the whole time, so it's going into the air that you breathe, and then it goes into the clouds, and then it rains down on us. Recent studies in the air and rainfall in the southern United States is showing 75% of the rain, 75% of the air contaminated with Roundup. So before you even take a bite of food, you're being hit with an antibiotic when you breathe. You're getting hit with an antibiotic when you experience rainfall. And so you may be growing organic crops, but they're getting rained on. And so we have now locked this water-soluble toxin into our environment.
If that's even close to being true, this is not good. More reason to filter what goes into your home, what goes into your bodies, what goes into your family's lives. You gotta fix the problem where you can. There's gonna be things that we can't fix, but you gotta start somewhere and fix them where you can. I mean, we think shopping organic, okay, yeah, it's supposed to be all, crunchy and good, but, when you've got critters ending up in your food, in the box at the store, there is some big steps getting missed. Check this out.
So I'm in Aldi, minding my business, buying a lettuce, and look what I found. Tell me, and it's breathing, bro. Oh.
It's breathing, bro. That's what she said. This thing, clearly, it gets washed, it gets cycled, who knows what. Comes with a dang frog. I've done other videos that show that, we've got so much stuff that we use in our ingredients that other countries do not allow. You would get fined if you use the same toxic type of ingredients. New article comes out, Japan won't even allow the cereal in their country from the US. Watch.
The government of Japan has said that Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, Wheat Thins, Honey Bunches of Oats are all causing people cancer, and they will not allow these American foods into the country anymore. They have a potent toxin in them called BHT, butylated hydrotoluene. This chemical is a flavor enhancer that is meant to make these processed foods actually tolerable when you eat them, but Japan has a different idea. Why don't we just use real food that actually tastes good? So while countries around the world ban American foods because of how cancer-causing they are, we can still get them in our stores. Be careful, look for the letters BHT on the side of the box. If you see it, put it back on the shelf. Do not buy these foods.
Look, if you guys aren't paying attention, you're a little bit late to the party, but better to start now than never. Like I said, it's not just food. It's the stuff that you put on. We're talking shampoos and conditioners. We're talking about, most people use Tide, right? Have you ever looked at the warning label? Yeah, you probably wouldn't put it in your clothes and your washing machine ever again if you read the caution label. This is the problem with using stuff with toxic things. Dawn dish soap, it's got formaldehyde in it. Washing your dishes with that every day? Right here, deodorant sold by Walmart and Amazon, recalled nationwide. And if you guys are new to this channel, hit the subscribe right now, because I've went into this in nauseum explaining to you all of the carcinogenics in this stuff, and people use it every day. Right here, more than 67,000 cases of Power Stick deodorant sold by both Walmart and Amazon. Go figure, right? The big huge superpowers that are making it for everyone. These things have been recalled by the FDA. The recall applies to 3 types of Power Stick deodorant due to CGMP deviations, meaning the product did not meet manufacturing regulations by the Food and Drug Administration. According to the FDA enforcement report, AP Duval initiated the recall on July 10th for 67,214 cases of Power Stick. Any of you guys out there use toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, soaps? You wouldn't believe how many recalls there are because people are getting hurt. Here it also says AP Duval also makes shampoo, conditioner, lotion, body wash, and facial wipes. If one's tainted, you think they're probably all tainted? Yeah, they're probably using all the same types of ingredients. And guess what? This recall comes after a week of 2 more recalls for products sold at Walmart. The first was Ozark Trail 64-ounce stainless steel insulated water bottles. The other one was 6 full lots of Lewis Bake Shop artisan style half loaf bread, which I think we've covered. Some of this is making news, but it's probably not the news you're watching. Check this out.
Deodorant are being voluntarily recalled. The exact issue was not revealed, but the maker says it's because of deviations from current good manufacturing practices monitored by the FDA. Now, the recall impacts 3 roll-on style deodorants in Powder Fresh, Spring Fresh, and Nourishing Invisible Protection formulas. The products were sold at Walmart, Dollar Tree, and Amazon. And if you have them, you're advised to stop using them.
And I'll tell you what, this is the second or third recall that I've heard just in the past few days that are not giving you reasons why they're recalling it. Get that. I mean, to me, tell me if I'm wrong, put it down in the comments, but I would imagine that they're hiding something that they really don't want people to know, because everything else that's getting recalled is getting listed. How is it that they don't have to list why they're recalling it? Now, I get hecklers all the time and say that, hey, this is normal. Yeah, how normal is it? And should it be normal that we're getting tons of recalls every single week? Put it down in the comments. Do you guys think that this should be normal or not normal? Meaning things need to be kept at a higher standard for the American people. I mean, look, a lot of you probably have a medication, right? Wouldn't it make you feel better if it was made in America, probably in a facility with less toxic environment? That's not what's happening. You can get much cheaper medications when it's all imported from overseas with who knows what kind of regulations and oversight. Most of the oversight and quality control is done by third-party companies that are funded by the manufacturer. Imagine how that goes. Check this out. FDA inspectors again find dangerous breakdowns at an Indian factory supplying medications to the U.S. consumer. It says U.S. inspectors have uncovered new and dangerous breakdowns in drug making and an Indian factory owned by Sun Pharma that produces generic medications for American consumers. And this is where it's all going. It's going generic, it's going overseas, it's cheaper, and who knows what kind of quality you're getting. Well, this is a good example right here. The latest problem comes 2.5 years after the Food and Drug Administration gave the facility a special pass to continue sending certain drugs made there to the U.S. states, even after the factory was officially banned from the U.S. market. Is that not crazy? Tell me in the comments if you think it's crazy, and hit the like button right now because it'll help get this information out to more people. The factory failed to investigate the source of the bacteria found in the test vials or deal with the damaged equipment that had caused drugs to be contaminated with metal particles, according to the June inspection report, which ProPublica obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. That's what it takes to get the truth. And this is what I'm talking about. There's no quality control management. Like I said, most of these places, and I've read this several times, get inspected or don't get inspected, but it's funded by the people that are actually making the stuff. And how you figure that goes. Workers improperly handled the vials and stoppers meant for sterile medications, and in some cases failed to disinfect manufacturing areas and equipment, according to the report. One FDA inspector saw a worker put on a sterile gown and then brush up against a waste bin and use their hands to push down the overflowing trash. Investigators also saw liquid dripping through the ceiling cracks and the growth of what appeared to be fungus and mold in the storage area for samples being used for testing. And can you imagine? This is where most of the medications are coming from. Places like this. And I'm telling you, the FDA in late 2022 had banned the factory in the city of Hollow from shipping drugs into the United States because of similar manufacturing failures. So how is it that they get to continue to operate and supply the US people with this garbage? Now, I'm not gonna lie. I used to love this stuff, and it probably was the result of me needing to hit the treadmill a little bit more often. But American cereal giant Kellogg's set for $3 billion foreign takeover. Now, the good thing is when stuff is made in Europe and overseas is a lot of times the ingredients are more pure, more natural, because they have half of the stuff that the US is using banned for toxic purposes. But this is exactly what happens. A company has probably a decent reputation, being that it's from Germany or Europe somewhere. A monstrous American company buys it. They immediately need to cut costs of developing this stuff, so they change the ingredients, start creating synthetic alternatives, and they don't need to tell you the difference between that on the ingredients label. Perfect example, an American breakfast icon is about to get a sweet new owner. Kellogg's, which we've heard in the limelight for all kinds of crazy stuff in their cereal that they're giving to little ones, the Chicago headquartered maker of Fruit Loops and Frosted Flakes is nearing a $3 billion deal to join forces with Italian Italian confectionery giant Ferrero, according to the Wall Street Journal. So this move, again, goes to huge conglomerate takeover. The move would merge two food powerhouses under one roof. And this is what happens with so many of our good brands that have good reputations. It gets ruined this way. Ferrero, the world's third largest candy company, already sells popular grocery products like Ferrero Rocher, Nutella, Keebler, and Butterfinger. And I got another big name coming up. The chocolatier has been on acquisition spree since 2018. At the time, the Italian company bought multiple chocolate brands from Nestle. Now, the new deal is even a deeper push into American market. The Ferrero, which recently announced new US focused products, including peanut Nutella and Dr. Pepper flavored Tic Tacs. And this is all at the same time. Meanwhile, Kellogg's, which spun off of its parent company last year, which has been struggling to remain momentum. That's because they're getting exposed. Now they're gonna merge with another giant that has probably a better reputation, and they're gonna go probably taint that as well. Look, I could go on, but I don't wanna make this video too long. Getting the point across at what's really going on out there and keeping you guys informed is the biggest thing. Hit the thumbs up if you guys appreciate this awareness. It'll let me know to keep making this stuff because I got a ton more coming. And remember, if you guys would like to explore the option of switching over to American made and non-toxic stuff, support probably the last family-owned company out there that supplies at least 500 things, that supplies almost 500 things that are much healthier and safer for you and your families, instead of supporting these conglomerates that are taking over, ruining companies that once had a great reputation with cheap synthetic ingredients. It's time to at least start looking and vote with your dollars. Again, the link is in the top of the description and the pinned comment if you'd like to simply take a look at that option. And as for more information, I got a lot more coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.